I said, who can whistle? And Sharon said, Aunt Sarah, my sister, she could do that. And I said, somebody's got to be able to do that. Somebody's got that talent. I don't have that talent. I can't even blow bubbles. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Everybody's so prompt. It's not even quarter after. Like, it's not even like people are, you know.
Habit time?
Yeah. Well, we won't go there. Anyway, but thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate it. And in the interest of time and everything else like that, Nicole is here. I'm going to let Nicole chat for a minute. And
if you want to say something after or before, you're welcome.
Well, I'll say, well, first, I'll just say thank you for coming, of course. And my reflection is after 37 and a half years, after a long time being here at Abbott, it really is all about the people. And I was kind of mentally going through just counting the names, or walking through the names of all of the managers I've had since I started in December of 1980. And it's a long list. And then you begin to think about all of the other people that you've worked with and the colleagues that you've had, and you really reflect that it's all about the people, it's about your relationships, and you think about all these journeys and pieces and parts of your life, starting with maybe like kindergarten graduation, you know, and working your way through high school and college and job changes and getting married and having kids. And again, it's somehow or another, all of these things, it's really all about the people. And that's, I suppose if there's one thing you miss, I plan to miss, it's all of you and everybody else as well who might trickle in here.
You can come back and take us to lunch whenever you want.
No, you can only do that once a month now.
Oh, no, just
unless
take
you're
us to-
buying.
No, I'm saying, you can just take us to lunch.
So anyway, but I will defer to Nicole for a moment, and then I have a couple of other things I'd like to do after Nicole's done. And Nicole?
Thank you for starting.
Sure.
Yeah. So you guys, I thought it would be good to give a little tribute to Mark today on his second to last day in the office.
Yes.
Right, and I actually asked him. It's always good to do this, I find, because I learn things about people, even though we should feel like we know each other already, since it's you're on your way out the door, as opposed to on your way in. But nonetheless, there are still things that, even though you have told me so much about your Abbott history, that I learned because you sent me some of the things that I asked you for. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
And I suspect that many of you know a lot of Mark's history, but on the other hand, you may not know all of it. And I actually. I'll start with like the 9 President's Awards and 4 Vice President's Awards and many other distinctions that I think that you have earned along the way for some very interesting projects and often very emergency projects that I think have kind of given you that distinction. And I also think that what is maybe the most important thing is that when I think about what you've done here in the office and a lot of the things that I know you have done in the community, and a longer list on here than I even knew, as well as what I know about you and how well you support your family. And I met Sharon. Okay, these must be sons right here. It's nice to meet you.
Son John.
Okay.
And John's wife Sarah could not break away today. My son Stephen and his wife Shar. And our daughter Lizzie is in Manhattan, and she couldn't make it today.
So I would say, raised, some wonderful children. Although I haven't met you, I actually know a lot of stories about you. All good, no bad ones. But really, it's the balance of everything that you've done, Mark, that I think tells your story in such a wonderful way. So I'm going to go back a little ways and let you guys know, Mark, not only does he have a bachelor's degree, but he has 2 masters in biology and business. He did spend some time at BorgWarner before he joined Abbott in HPD back in, you said 1980, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the year. So quite some time ago, and has done a lot of different things, but mostly in the world of materials, and has built lots of contacts and has built a big support system, I think, in that area. And it really, I think it really always comes through in the history that you have, and that great value that comes with that history that you've been able to provide to all of us as we have needed to learn, me especially, right? So Mark and I met when you were still part of TPD. Really doing very similar role, but still part of TPD. And then one day we kind of got to like own Mark. And so he came over and joined our team. And really a lot of what I have learned around materials, it not being my background, have been, at you sitting and spending time in my office. So I very much appreciate that. And I think that is really your attitude in general is one of teaching. And I would suspect that many of the people in the room have been benefits, have been benefactors of that. So thank you for that. I also, you guys may or may not know, Lake Bluff is your area, and you have done so many things again in the community in that area and managed to do that in a way that I think is really wonderful, right? You've done some really, really wonderful things in addition to the things that you do at work and with your family. And I suspect that they might get more value out of you here in your future as you maybe have a little more time to spend in retirement. So I think it'll be a wonderful thing. I think maybe the last thing that I kind of like to mention in the spirit of engineering and the kinds of people that we have in engineering and all of the stereotypes that go along with that about our lack of social capabilities and communication skills and all those like fun engineering things. Yeah, I know that kind of come with that. Mark, one of the things that I think is really so wonderful about you and was so nice in being able to work with you is that you are consistently pleasant. You are a respectful, just all around nice person to be around, and you make our team really nice that way. So you bring a lot of personalities together, and I think that has been a benefit that we have gotten from you as well. So listen, I will miss you. So I think it's been 7 years that we've about 7 years that we have known each other. A short duration of your entire career at Abbott, but we will miss you. We will miss the history that you bring, but I know that you will pay it forward in the next things that you do with Sharon and your family as you retire. So,
thank you.
So happy for you.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
We're happy too.
All right.
So before you run off, so you have to understand that in 37 years, I carted 4 boxes of stuff out of here after throwing away a lot of other stuff. And there was a lot of stuff that when I would get it, Sharon would say, oh, that's fine, you could have that, but you could take it to the office, like she didn't want it at home. So a lot of that's coming home to roost. So there are some things that I chose not to bring home that I want to share.
RVs for everybody.
What?
RVs for everybody.
RVs for everybody. Billions, like McDonald's, billions and billions served. So, Nicole, we have a running joke. Somewhere back there, if any, depending on how old you are, I look around, there are some senior members here. There was something called the Universal Planning Form. See, he knows. Please go back to the 1980s. Leroy remembers.
I Google it up after seeing one of yours.
So, a while back, I willed what I thought was my last pad of planning forms to Nicole because she was so intrigued with this. I found one more, and it's yours.
I am ever grateful. I will try to use it instead of using Excel. I will try to use it.
That's
Right leg, there's something. Thank you.
Yep. The other thing I wanted to do, let's see. Well, there's one thing here before we get to that. Where is Phyllis? Okay. So this has great sentimental value and it's kind of discontinuous with the other junk. I mean stuff. But Phyllis came from IT. And Phyllis, this was something that I valued since I was part of the IMX launch team. Anybody remember diskette storage? So, Phyllis, my good friend, this is for you. Well, you have to put it in. Stephen, I think we've got some old diskettes at home if you like to stuff it in there. Okay, so what I really wanted to do was not to take home all my coffee cups. And if you've ever been in my office, I probably had a dozen or more coffee cups. So in no particular order, Michael. Michael is another distinguished alumnus from Stopper University at the old Abbott Ashland facility, and they had a week-long class in rubber materials and formulations. Michael, I don't know if you ever had one of these. If you did, you probably dropped it, or your wife told you had to pitch it. But now you've got another one.
I got something for you. An Axum ice cream.
Touche. Terry, I have for you. This is the oldest thing I have from ADD. This is an Abbott Commander coffee. Now we know how old the people really are. Commander was the first automated system for when we did testing with bees. And so, and there's a key. I didn't see that. I have no idea what this was. So anyway, Terry is among the newest folks here, and so I thought perhaps it would be cool to give her something out of the distant past.
Thank you.
You'd be hard pressed, but you might find an old piece of equipment on eBay.
Maybe the key is the most valuable part.
Let's see.
Well, so the official Abbott orange.
Okay, let's see here. Alan Weintraub. For those of you who don't know, Alan is